Dying Light. I hate this game. This game is ridiculous, and I don't mean ridiculous like, dude, I can't believe you broke into a zoo and French kissed a giraffe, that's ridiculous. I mean ridiculous like you and your sweetie have been going steady for a solid 6 months, you're bluer than a smurf, and she finally tells you she's ready to take the next step. So you two make the plan. You go out and grab yourself some new digs, some protection.
Wrap it before you tap it.
You buy her some chocolates and flowers because you're a goddamn gentleman. Now you're ready and the time has come. You're looking dapper as fuck, and just as you start to make your move, your girlfriend pulls off her mask, and turns out all this time you've been dating Hand Banana from the Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Basting that turkey today.
Huh? What's that?
So Dead Island 2 is coming out in mere days, and I love Dead Island. It's easily one of my favorite zombie games strictly because of the combat and the weapon system. Combat is pretty smooth, although limited by the stamina meter, which is fair, and you can find a vast number of weapons that by themselves are satisfying to kill the undead of Benoit with. But then you have the added fun of collecting weapon mods that allow you to create a more unique and oftentimes devastating kill toy. After seeing what Dead Island 2 is bringing to the table through various gameplay and cinematic trailers, I'm extremely excited and cannot wait to get my hands on a copy of the game. But seeing as how we are still a ways away from getting Dead Island 2, I decided to start playing the first Dying Light, which I've owned for years, but maybe played all of 10 minutes. For some reason, I can't remember why, but I dropped the game like a bad habit after those first 10 minutes. And like a boomerang, it's all coming back to me. Let's start off with everything wrong with our main protagonist. The dude is awful. He's this GRE operative that's been sent in to monitor Rice and get back this document that Rice supposedly stole from the GRE, and in between all that, he's trying to help everybody at the tower and all of these other outposts, but there's a lot of times where Crane is just a dick.
Need my reel. It is a Tobunga Mark 12 Super Caster. Take a guess what I paid for it.
I really don't care. You Aziz? Ryan sent me.
What happened to Assam?
What do you think?
If you prefer fish, you'll have to wait until I catch some.
I'll take this.
Oh, one hell of a job, I'm telling you. Miss it more than I miss my kids these days.
Okay. So, you wanted to ask me something?
Can you help me out? I need you to finish this run for me.
Hey, look, I'll get you to a shelter or something, but I've got other things to take care of.
Look, I've got everything but the phenyl nitrate.
And you don't have what I need, and that's not gonna cut it with Ryan. Gee, thanks, David. Thanks a lot. You must be the witch.
Such prideful contempt. But of course you do not believe in such things.
Look, I'm here because I've been told that you have an ability.
You want to know how I walk among the Immortui without drawing their attack. Is that not so?
Huh? Is it possible?
For you, no. You are far too crude and ignorant to obtain such deep knowledge.
Got him! Got him! I recently did a side quest for this guy named Fallon, where I had to go to this cyber cafe and retrieve his satchel containing important documents and whatnot on the outbreak in Harran. And then I had to retrieve his camera from his car on the Infamy Bridge. And granted, the Infamy Bridge part totally sucks. Like, as a real life situation, that would suck to do. Now in the game, it's easy as shit, but Crane absolutely shits all over this guy, crushes his hopes and dreams.
I'm Neil Fallon. I'm a journalist for International Affairs magazine.
Yeah, I've heard of you.
You have?
How the hell did you get in here?
It wasn't so hard during the first few days of the quarantine. And when they put Suleiman in charge, it was pretty clear how things were going to go.
So you decided to stick around?
Actually, I've decided to leave. Though God knows how that's going to happen. I've been in some lockdown cities before, but there's usually someone you can bribe. Not here.
I can't get you out of Harran. I'm not sure anyone can.
No, of course. But I've been documenting this place, pretty much from day one. I've interviewed hundreds of, well, people who aren't people anymore. Suleiman has a lot to answer for. The world needs to know what's happened, and look, I'm kind of desperate here. I've lost my work, all of it. I was holed up at an internet cafe when a mob of infected landed on me. I got out without a bite, but I left my satchel at the cafe.
And everything's in the satchel?
Most of it. They chased me for a while, so I finally had to ditch my camera in a car. Look, I know it's a lot to ask.
Alright, even if I recovered them, you still don't have a way out of here.
Mister, if I can't get my work back, there's no reason for me to get out.
Well, that cafe's in a bad area. I'll think about it, but no promises, okay?
Then turns around in his journal and writes about how he really wants to help this guy out. Like, yeah, dude, you could have fooled me. Then you retrieve his stuff and the dude's like totally grateful and also totally confused because you seemed like you hated the fucking guy for even asking you to help him get his stuff back, but then you did it anyway. And he asks why you did it, and Crane shits on him again. And I'm thinking to myself, is this the same fucking guy that threw a temper tantrum when the GRE suggested he give over Jade to Rice so she can fight in his fucking underground fight club?
I'm no longer cooperating with Rise. He wanted me to kidnap Jade Aldemir and dump her with him so he can make her fight in his pit.
Yes, and? Was that it?
What do you mean, was that it? I'm not a fucking human trafficker.
What's your name? People are going to know about you.
Look, my name doesn't matter, because you're still not getting out of here. No one's getting out of here.
You're the total humanitarian when pussy's involved, but ask me to retrieve important documentation of the outbreak that the guy had to leave safety and break into Harran during the quarantine in order to get, and now he can never leave. Yeah, fuck him, how dare he? Crane is a total inconsistent protagonist. He rides the spectrum. He's never a total dick or a total babyface, but sometimes he's more of a dick when he doesn't have to be. And I know this might seem like a nitpick, but the game uses first-person perspective so the player can put themselves into the game and be the character, and the character's an asshole. I don't relate to Crane at all. The dude has small dick alpha male written all over him. Dude, I don't even know where to start with this game. I mean, I guess you'll be interested in knowing that I'm playing this on the PlayStation 4. I'm not playing it on PC, although I doubt any amount of processing power found in even the weakest of high-end gaming computers could affect the quality of this game for the better. But let's talk about the game's parkour elements, because the game heavily relies on the player utilizing this mechanic to get around safely. See, looking back at the trailers, the whole hardcore parkour mechanic sounded like a cool idea. I mean, if it's good enough for our Lord and Savior Obi-Wan Kenobi, am I right? Too bad the system is inconsistent as fuck, and even if you take the high ground, you're sure to end up like this. I'm playing the game, and sometimes he grabs shit, and sometimes he just doesn't. If you want to see just how inconsistent the parkour mechanic is, then go to the Infamy Bridge and climb. Just climb, all the way to the top of the bridge. Good luck.
Do you struggle and strain to reach high places? Well, not anymore. Introducing Grab-It.
I got fucking Vietnam flashbacks playing this damn game. I ain't even ever been to Vietnam. Did Techland spend the weekend playing Tomb Raider on the PS1 and decide to use those horribly broken controls to map out the parkour system in Dying Light? I mean, you'd think I'm kidding, but you press up on the directional pad to make Laura jump forward and she just fucking side cartwheels off the entire fucking cliff.
What? Are you fucking serious? What the fuck was that? Can you jump forward, please? Oh my god. You fucking idiot. Okay, there we go. Can I just do that again? Oh, this is gonna be a terrible fucking game. Nope, that didn't do it. No, that didn't do it either. Yeah! Nope. Shit. Are you kidding me? Ah. Okay, mate. I didn't do that. Just drown. Go on.
In Dying Light, I'm on a ledge looking to the right so I can jump to the next ledge, and Crane just fucks off to infinity and beyond to certain death. So now you're thinking to yourself, well fine, I just want hardcore parkour. I'll run through the streets evading enemies and fight small groups when I have to, right? Hot newsflash, asshole! The game is supposed to be a realistic experience that ultimately punishes you for fighting enemies by spawning in massive amounts of infected to come stretch your holes. I'm at a point in the game where Crane's ability stats, whatever, are pretty good. I'm able to do a lot. I can vault over the zombies, I can use the grappling hook, when it fucking works.
Do you struggle and strain to reach high places? Introducing Grab-It.
My attack and defense are pretty good. I can hold my own against standard zombie types, the hazmat zombies, and even the thug type zombies. But what I've come to realize is that if I decide to go out and knock around a few zombie hordes for cash or materials, I get punished for doing so. Because the noise you make fighting these enemies draws the attention of infected enemies. And not just infected enemies around you. They spawn out of the sewers, they run across the whole fucking map. And what's crazy is, if you beat the 2 or 3 that spawn in, the game spawns even more and in larger groups to come after you. Dude, I have even tried killing zombies and covering myself in zombie blood to disguise myself, and every fucking time, that little red arrow pops up on the map and runs right to me. You made a game that allows you to create custom weapons in an open-world zombie apocalypse setting. But how can I have any fun with my custom weapons if I'm constantly getting gangbanged like the village cuck queen? And speaking of weapons, the weapons suck. My best weapon is a modified sawn-off shotgun that I can't use out in the open because the sound tells horny infected near me that I'm ready to get railed. Now, outside of firearms, you have sticks, batons, golf clubs, all kinds of melee weapons that you can modify to optimize damage output and efficiency. But the durability of these weapons is so weak that they break constantly. Now, unlike Dead Island, you can repair them on the go, totally cool. But also unlike Dead Island, you can only repair weapons 3 or 4 times before they become permanently ineffective. And remember when I said it's cool that you can repair weapons on the go? I lied, it's not cool, it blows. You'll be in the middle of an old-fashioned circle jerk with spitters, infected, and thugs, and you'll need to repair your weapons. You'll ask yourself, do I switch to a backup weapon that's less powerful, but whose integrity is at full strength? Or do I risk being vulnerable the entire length of the repair animation so I can use my best weapon and come out barely hanging by the hair of my nipples? Trick question! You die every time, no matter what you do! But what really pisses me off with the weapons is that they can permanently break. If they didn't permanently break, I could deal with everything else. But by having a repair limit, you're essentially telling me to hoard my best weapons until I go somewhere that I'll absolutely need them for, like the prison or quarantine zones, and that's not how I want to play this game. There is no flexibility in the game's playstyle. They have a fixed ideology on how you, the player, should conduct yourself while playing this game, and it's totally irrevocable because of how they've built the game. And I'm sure there's at least one person out there ready to throw the realism card into play like Kenny McCormick in a game of cock magic, but I myself do not play games or read comics and what have you for the realism. I live in the real world. It sucks. I play games to get away from reality. And like, if this was a totally straight survival horror game, then I can totally get behind the realism because it works in that capacity. But it sure as hell isn't necessary here. If you're going to allow me to create custom weapons, let me play with them without consequence. But I'll tell you kids, it wasn't until I locked the grappling hook when I realized just how shitty this game is. This fucking thing works when it wants to, sometimes goes long distance or short distance depending on how it feels. Oh, and fuck you if you pass by anything remotely near you as you're traveling back to the hook, because the game will spaz out and send your ass plummeting to the ground. Sometimes I'll grapple hook the ledge of a building or an overpass and it zips me right up to the top of the ledge, and then I fall right back down to my death because the grappling hook isn't precise. So if you grapple too high or too low, the game freaks out and you don't actually connect with point B, which is extremely infuriating because if you're right fucking there. You see, in reality, you could grab onto whatever is closest to you, but no! Not Crane, there's no pussy to crush up there. The first thing I did when I got the grappling hook was run really fast off a rooftop and then try in mid-air to catch the nearest rooftop with the grappling hook, but dude, sometimes it doesn't even give you a hit marker allowing you to grapple hook it. Insomniac Games made the most realistic and technologically impressive Spider-Man game to date, with an entire open world mapped and programmed with hit markers on every building and surface that Spider-Man's web can stick to. But Techland can't take 5 minutes to make sure the grappling hook's basic fundamentals are up to snuff. Outstanding. Now, I know what you're thinking, Derek, that's a totally unfair comparison. And you're right, it is, because Insomniac Spider-Man even has better parkour mechanics. It is quite possibly the greatest superhero game that's ever graced this earth. Dying Light can't compete with Insomniac Games' Spider-Man. These games were released 3 years apart from each other and on the same systems, proving the game does not hold up. Oh, and side note, what is with the weapon models in this game? The weapons, for the most part, all look the same, and customizations are super bland. It's like they took a page out of Dead Island Definitive Edition's book. The weapons in the original Dead Island, when you customize them, were just awesome and kinda crazy. But just like in Dying Light, the Definitive Edition gave the weapons a more realistic look, which pales in comparison to its PS3 counterpart. The weapon models are a small nitpick, I know. But I can't stress enough, this game set you in a post-apocalyptic world full of zombie destruction and mayhem, gives you total access to a variety of melee weapons that are fully customizable, and the only thing you get out of the whole deal is the biggest set of blue balls ever, because the game doesn't fucking let you do anything. What really sucks is, the game is a total upgrade from Dead Island. Despite its flaws, I can at least admit that it completely optimizes what Techland did before. The basic controls are smoother and more fluid, combat is faster, but the unfortunate reality is, despite the upgrade, Dead Island is just more fun to play. This is one reason why I'm extremely excited for Dead Island 2. The combat, the weapons, everything looks amazing! I hope it's the best of both worlds, and it looks like it from what we've seen so far. We've not long to go, dudes and dudettes. Dead Island 2 comes out Friday, April 21st, and I, for one, cannot wait to get my hands on it. Thanks for watching, and for more video game entertainment news and more, be sure to keep it locked right here at GameSomniac. Bye-bye!